Okay, so stretch and rest. I'm Kristen. If you are new to class, maybe you have someone with you taking class today that's new. So welcome. Thank you so much for joining. I mentioned earlier that we are in a big storm watch, big tornado storm watch. So if my phone starts firing off alerts, I may just have to check and see what's going on. All right. So we're going to start in this seat like we always do. This seat does not have to look like my seat. This is just what my body's accustomed to. You might be seated in a chair. You could be laying down in a bed, right? So this practice is going to be what's best for your body today. And it's okay if it's different than last week. It's going to be different next week anyways, right? So we try not to hold on to what we did in the past. Don't worry so much about the future. You've heard this before. Just focus on where you are now today, best you can. It's practice. So we're going to start sitting up tall unless you're laying down, in which case you just lay down. Close your eyes and engage your core to help you sit up tall. Feel the belly button draw in. Feel the rib cage lift up. And then feel your hip bones press down and back just a little bit. Now, if you're seated and your knees are up in the air, you might even notice one of my knees is in the air. You might choose to add some support underneath, especially if it's uncomfortable, or it makes you round into your lower back. So you could place something like a block underneath your knee. And this could also help soften the hip flexors to let the knees relax. So just try it out. Closing the eyes, relax your hands wherever you like. Take a deep breath in, let your belly expand. And then open up your mouth, a loud ha sound, just like you're letting something go. Again, inhale through the nose. Open mouth, exhale. Let your shoulders relax. Once more, inhale. This time, hold at the top. Open mouth, exhale. Add a pause to the bottom. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1, pause. This time through your nose, exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1, pause. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1, pause. Through your nose, exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1, pause. Inhale, 4, pause. Exhale, 4, pause. Inhale. Exhale. Continue to breathe this way on your own. Use that slow 4-count breath if you need that as an anchor to keep you with your breath instead of where your thoughts might be. With your inhale, sit up a little bit taller. With your exhale, relax your shoulders. Stay in this space as long as you'd like. If you're ready to move on, begin to blink your eyes open. It is a relaxing class, so try to keep a soft gaze if you can, right? We want to move slow and on purpose. So we're going to start by just bringing the chin down towards the chest. Then lift up your chest. Roll your shoulders down and back. And make sure the elbows are in. They're hanging heavy, but they're kind of pointed backwards and in. Deep breath in. With your exhale, stay here or take your right ear over to your right shoulder. Try to keep both shoulders down. Notice if you begin to lean to one side or the other, try to not shift the torso, but create some flexion in the neck instead. Of course, if you shouldn't be moving your neck, you know not to be doing this. So if you feel good here, try looking up, looking down, just move the neck around a little bit. And when you're finished there, bring your chin back down. Lift up your chest and take it over to the left side. So still engage lightly from the core, grounding from the hips, noticing where that tightness is in your body. And if you are tight, I know you're feeling it here. So moving the neck around if that seems appropriate. Remember, all of this stuff is just optional. And all of this stuff is typically not available to everyone all the time, right? Myself included. Bringing your chin back down to your center and slowly lifting up your head. Take a moment to roll your shoulders up and back. And then roll your shoulders up and forwards. And roll the shoulders up and back, lifting up from the chest. So we'll start to move through our side stretches. The point of this is to create some space between the ribs and the hips. So we still want to stay stable in the hips, stable in the knees, and that might require that we add things underneath us, right, to help us stay in place. So play around with where your imbalances are by supporting them. And you'll notice how the stretch can change and feel really, really like good for your body, right? We want to create space. So I like to have something on either side of the body because I'm lifted up on this humongous bolster. You could be in a totally different situation. Hand placements, this is the same throughout the entire class, so I'll just go through it now and you can remember it for other postures, hopefully. So you could have your hand flat down with your fingers spread wide. Just make sure you don't grip with the fingertips, and you may have to remind yourself of that. You can pop up to the fingertips. This is great if we have some wrist sensitivity. Creating a fist. You could even use like a weight instead of using a block, something to wrap your hands around, but just make sure you're confident in how to use that weight to stabilize yourself. And then ultimately, if you shouldn't have any pressure and this just feels terrible, you could have your right hand on your right knee instead, or maybe even palm facing up if that was really, really sensitive. So message me anytime you have questions about postures, especially as they could relate to your body specifically. Starting with the right hand down. With your inhale, send your left arm up and overhead, palm faces down. Your shoulder may move forward. That might be tension. You might be super tight there. So slowly over time, you begin to draw the elbow up and back. Shoulder blade stays in and you're still lifting up from the chest. Maybe the right hand's grounded and you can reach a little bit more. Think of that space between the ribs and the hips. Hip bones stay down. Try to keep the knees down. Deep breath in, find a little space. With your exhale, reach a little further. Strong through your core, breathe in and lift. One more time, reach. With your exhale, bring your left hand down. So switch it out. You may need to shift things around a little bit. All good. Left hand grounds. Use your inhale to bring the right arm up. So you can see if you're looking at me that right knee is up in the air. So if I was being really meticulous, I would say put something underneath it to support it. So rolling the shoulder back as it's available to you, grounding from the left hand. It's okay to have a little micro bend in the elbow, but try not to sink down into the joints, right? Using that core, breathe in to reach. Exhale, maybe you stretch from the ribs a little more. One more time, breathe in, find some space. With your exhale, release your right hand down. With your inhale, send your left arm up and overhead. Maybe you look up, maybe you look down. Exhale, bring your left hand down. So with your breath, inhale, right arm up. Think of inhales to expand and exhales to ground or decompress. And notice how that breath can help you when you're moving, you're transitioning through these phases, right? You're inhaling to reach up. Well, that helps support the core. And then exhaling to ground. So take as many of these as you like. I'm going to do about 2 more on each side. When you feel pretty balanced there, just make your way back to your center. All right, so hands behind you, elbows in, try to tuck those elbows in and feel the chest press forward and engage from the core. With your inhale, lift up your chest a little more, squeeze the elbows in, bring your chin back just a little bit. And then if you can, look up. If your neck says no, forget it. Don't even try it. One more time, breathe in. With your exhale, chin to your chest. Take a moment to continue this stretch with the chin down, and then walk your hands forward into a fold. So tons of ways to fold. Because I'm lifted up on a bolster, I have to have something underneath my hands here, or my butt's going to come up into the air and I'm going to lose the stretch and begin to round the spine, and it's just not going to be the point of the posture. So arms out in front of you, only as far as you can reach comfortably without losing your seat. So for some of us, we might be able to lower down to the forearms. For some of us, if we're seated, we may be able to reach the arms completely out in front and put something under the forehead instead. That is a very comfortable option, if it's comfortable in your body anyways. So whatever you say, you can try it out. You can keep blocks separate. They don't have to be that width ways. They could be long ways as well. You could lower your head down. Just make sure the seat is down, right? When the tailbone starts to lift, right? When we're not aware of our seat, that's when we lose the stretch. We're pressing down from the seat. You could think of pressing the belly button towards the floor, but keeping the core engaged. And wherever you are, take a big breath in, let your belly expand. And soften your shoulders on your exhale, let your head be heavy. Slowly begin to make your way up. All right, so we'll move into our twist. Twisting is kind of wonky for a lot of us because we create inflammation in our bodies by twisting. So if you find that later on in the day, your back doesn't feel that good, maybe tomorrow you're a little bit sore in your lower back, you might consider maybe what you're doing in this posture. There's another one I talk about in class as well, Supta Baddha Konasana, where we're laying down. They just can create some weird compressions in our lower back, especially if we're not super aware of how we're moving between the hips, the ribs, the core muscles, right? There's a lot going on there. So move slow, deepen the posture when you feel it's available to you, but please try not to force the range of motion by shifting your hips, right? So very important the hips stay stable. A common theme in this class. Take your left hand behind you somewhere. For me, that's behind the bolster. My right hand's going to go over to the left leg. If your right hand needs to stay on the right leg, totally fine. With your inhale, lift up your chest. With your exhale, begin to twist. And when you think of that twist, think of the left shoulder pulling you back. That might help you keep the torso forward, the hips level. So if we want the shoulders down, that can be tough if we're tight. And then notice what's going on with the chin. If we're tight from the shoulders and the chin, then we might start to kind of arch and lean forward weird. So, less of a stretch, better alignment will open you up over time. And then adding support is massive in gaining flexibility. Take a deep breath in. With your exhale, twist. So core stays engaged. Deep breath in. Exhale and twist. Slowly come back to your center, and we'll just pause in between because twisting can be weird. Make sure everything is still in the right place, and we'll take it to the other side. Right hand behind you, left hand over to the right leg. Inhale, lift up your chest. Exhale and begin to twist. So right shoulder draws you back. Notice if those hips shifted, if you leaned, come back to center and start over. It could be a different twist for you today, but notice how you feel later, right? That could be all the difference in the world. Deep breath in to find space. Exhale and twist. Back to your center, just take a moment to shake it out. And you're welcome to continue to move that slow. And that's awesome if you have that sort of control and you can breathe that slowly. I would encourage that. Otherwise, just move with the breath that's available to you. So left hand behind you, right hand to your left leg. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale and twist. Core stays engaged. Inhale through your center to the other side. Exhale takes you to your twist. Inhale through center. Exhale and twist. So at your own pace, Use that breath to movement, working together almost like a little dance. And I'm just going to take one more of these on each side. If you need more, go for it. And come back to your center. So roll the shoulders up and back again like we did the first time. Roll them up and forwards. Always awkward, doesn't matter how many times you do it. And then roll the shoulders down and back, lifting up your chest, hands to the back or to the back of something just behind you. Elbows in. Inhale, lift up your chest, chin in, but look up if you can. With your exhale, chin to your chest, hang out here and draw those elbows in. Big stretch for the chest, for the shoulders. And when you're ready, second fold, take your time. So remember, you have those options with your hands. You can always pop up to your fingertips or create fist. Walk the hands back to your body, sitting up tall. And we'll set up for some leg stretches. And hopefully you know by now that I'm a freak of nature and can sit in that shape for way too long. So I understand that if you had to move before me, it's all good. I don't know why I can sit that way for so long. Kind of weird. All right, so we'll start by bringing the left foot into the right thigh. If you are a person that when you walk, you have a tendency to have the toes go out, this is very common. Take a look at your right thigh, hands to it, spin the thigh inwards, and then follow that down the leg all the way down. And this is going to give you an internal rotation of your thigh. This is going to give you more work muscularly if you're not used to your muscles moving in this direction. So just bear with me. Put something underneath the knee if you need to for support. Flex the foot, toes point back, pull them back towards you. Maybe your heel lifts up. Don't force it, but just feel the stretch. And then point the toes, big stretch for the top of the foot. Maybe you can engage your right thigh. Flex your right foot, point your toes, and just continue to do this. Not for too long, just a little movement there to stretch it out, blood moving. Maybe some circles around your ankle feel nice. And then supporting yourself at the left leg wherever. You can always have the left leg straight out, right? So we're going to sit up tall, both hands towards the right leg somewhere. Inhale, lift up your chest. With your exhale, hinge forward. So we're keeping those hips stable, right? You know this because we've been doing this already. And then you hinge forward from the torso. Now your shoulders might begin to shift here. It's going to if you're tight, really tight on one side. Or if you just have a tendency to lean to one side or you have subluxation in the spine, there could be tons of reasons why. So you just want to try to keep the shoulders, as balanced as you can. So that might mean bring those blocks in, put your hands or your forearms on top of them. It might mean you need one block to level yourself out. Block might be too much. It might need to be like a little towel. A nice option if we are very tight in the shoulders is to add blocks under the arms and hands anyways. So we're flexing the foot. We're engaged from the core. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. Press those hips down and slowly make your way up. Switch it out for the other side. So check in with your left foot. If it hangs out to the left, no biggie. Just take your hands to the thigh and turn that thigh inwards. Flex the foot and move through your nerve glides, pointing and flexing. Feel how that shifts where the muscles are, right? We flex to stretch the back of the leg, and we point to stretch the top of the leg. And some circles if you like. So flexing your foot, hands to either side of your left leg. Inhale, lift your chest, hips stay down. Exhale to fold. Soft through the shoulders, strong from your core still. Notice what happens when you pull in the core. You might feel more space open in the back. You might feel a deeper stretch somewhere else. Slowly make your way back up. Left leg can stay where it is. Just balance it out with the right leg, extending them out. Move them around a little bit. Just find some movement. We're going to go for that internal rotation of the thighs. One of you was twice. Turning the toes in. You might rock a little left and right to really feel those pelvic bones press down and then tilt forward. This is especially helpful if you are someone that's rounding into the lower back, right? You don't want to feel your tailbone on whatever it is you're seated on, right? You want to feel the pelvic bones and then you tilt the pelvis forward. Anything you need to support yourself, right? Something under the knees could be great, ankles, whatever. Take your hands to the floor on either side. It could be the outside, could be the inside. Deep breath in. With your exhale, hinge forward. And go slow. You do not want to pull these muscles. It will ruin your long weekend. Okay, so coming back up, we'll bring the feet together, take one more stretch here, and then begin our restorative practice. A reminder, we're going to go a few minutes over today because we started late. With your feet as close together as you like, just not as far out as we did, unless you just want a second set. But bring them in, think of hip width distance. Inhale, lift up your chest. Exhale and hinge forward. So some nice options here are, again, blocks to either side of the leg. That could be the hands down, right? Maybe you need the hands to be lifted up so they can touch something to help you sit up tall and use your core. Maybe you have something like a strap or a cord or old scarf or something that can go beyond your feet to help you leverage sitting up tall, and then in which case you bring the elbows in. Maybe you're real flexible and you take something beyond your feet, right? Deep breath in. Slow breath out. Bring your chin down towards your chest and just feel where that changes the stretch in your body down your spine. And then slowly from the lower back, try to roll up one vertebrae at a time. Let your head come up last. All right, so moving into our restorative practice. Hopefully you have something like a bolster. This is my bolster. I'm 5'9". This works perfect for my torso. This bolster is too much for someone with a less height than me. So that will begin to create some pain in your lower back if you had one that was the same length. So you need to just customize this, particularly this next portion of practice for your body and what you need today. And that might mean that you take what I'm doing and just try to apply that the best that you can to your body. And I'm going to answer your questions at the end of class. Just put them in the chat and we'll come back to you, okay? And we can always make it available to you. No problem. So we're going to start with a little bit of a back bend stretch. If you need to be more elevated, maybe allergies, cold or something, maybe low back pain, take something and wedge it underneath your bolster so that you now have this lift. This is going to just take compression off the back and take pressure off of the lungs, right? So if you're coughing, elevate yourself. All right, when we lower back, we want to make sure that we're not creating pain in the lower back by doing so. So when you recline, if it feels like a big stretch, put a towel or something under your butt or in that round of your spine to help support you. Okay, so there's lots of leg variations. Oh, I wish you guys could see the skylights above me right now because we're in that tornado watch. It's crazy clouds. Anyways, tons of leg options. Your legs could be straight. Here's okay to let those toes fall open. You might want to be in a hip opener, Baddha Konasana. So then the soles of the feet are together, knees are open. You're not next to a couch as close as me so that the legs can spread open. And if you need support, which I recommend, you put something underneath the knees. The only reason you wouldn't need support here is if you've been doing this posture for so long that you are completely touching the ground and it's not painful at all for you, especially the next day. All right. You could have something underneath the ankles and the knees. That's really good for lower back health, some blood flow. So I'm going to have the legs straight. That's comfortable for me, and pop something underneath the knees and just take some time to be still. That's what this whole part's about. How can you support yourself with stuff and stillness? If the arms are having a hard time getting comfortable, put something under your elbows. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. Closing your eyes if you haven't already. Relaxing your jaw. When you scan your body, notice what areas begin to recruit muscularly, like your thighs, your core muscles, your jaw. Take a deep breath in. A slow breath out. So if your arms are similar to mine or if your shoulders feel open, take your hands across your body and close your shoulders. Same for your hips. If your knees were open, bring them in. If your feet are out and your toes are out, turn your toes inwards. We just want to close those hip joints before we move. And then bring the hands down, bend your knees, make your way up to your seat. The most comfortable way for you. We'll go to our side stretch. So both knees over to the right. Whatever's underneath you here should support you all the way down with the right arm, right hand supported by something beyond that. If this is not available to you, then you take a big towel or a big old comforter. You can wrap a pillow with towels and just support the curve between the ribs and the hips, right? And then this part's going to lower down. It's also going to be a deeper stretch, and you're going to have something under the arms. So anywhere you feel like, oh, that's way too much, that's an indication that you need more stuff to support you. All right, so the knees are not stacked. If you sleep with something in between your knees, you're going to probably want that here to be more comfortable as well. And then if you have sensitivity in the ankles, a blanket in between them is great too. Weighted blanket on top of the hips can be helpful as well, right? If we're suffering through maybe some anxiety, I know I have been, so a weighted blanket could be really nice here. So if you want an extra stretch, left arm can go overhead. Just make sure it touches to something, it's not hanging out. It can go behind you, same thing. You want to make sure it's touching something, not hanging. It can lay down on the left side. It can be down and with the elbow bent across your body. There's other options. Just do what's best for you. Doesn't feel like too much work. And then close the eyes. So this might be where the posture stays for you. If you'd like to add a twist and you're confident that this is okay in your lower back, Place your left hand down, push yourself up slowly, slide the right hand back. Lift up the chest, a twist through the torso, and then you bring the upper body down so it's supported on whatever it is that you have underneath you already. And I personally go palms up with my hands under the bolster and look to the right. You might have your hands down with the arms down. It could be so many options here to support yourself, okay? If you're in this twist, focus on breathing deeply. It's very astringent for the organs here because they are in this twist. So if you breathe into a twist, it helps with the detox process, as they say. And it can also make you more thirsty. So think about drinking water too. My screen is getting so dark because it's dark outside. So I hope that it's not blacking out for you guys. I'm gonna check if you stay where you are. So weird. Not sure why it looks like that. Okay. All right, I'll just roll with it. Hopefully you can see. I don't know what happened. It's totally dark on my end. Okay, so wherever you are, take a deep breath in. A slow breath out. If you're in your twist, begin to slowly make your way up. Everyone else make your way up. And then we'll bring the left hand as far out to the left, touching down, reaching the right arm up for a stretch. Breathe in. And then when you breathe out, the right hand grounds. And I'm going to turn to the other side. I might lose you on some sound a little bit, but just remember it's the same thing, just the other side of your body. So knees over to the left. Remember not to stack the knees. And we'll start with our side stretch first with an option to go into a twist. And if you like your twist, right hand down, left hand back, lifting up, twisting the torso, lift up from the chest, and bring your upper body down. Completing the twist in the spine is looking to the left, but if it's not available, it's not a big deal. You certainly don't want to hurt yourself to, be in some idea of a completed twist that was made up a long time ago before we had a lot of other things going on in our bodies. And slowly begin to lift yourself up. If you're in the twist, go extra slow. Reach the right hand out as far as you can with your inhale. Left arm reaches up and over. And exhale, left hand down. All right, so we'll do something that I only teach about every 6 or 7 classes because it's really not accessible to a whole lot of people, but I want to open it up to class today in case it's accessible to you. And it's just supported child's pose. So I will say that if you have knee sensitivity, top of your feet sensitivity, that's where you're going to need to add extra padding. And you may even want to try this if you have like a real plushy, comfortable bed or couch or something like that, that can really kind of cradle you and support you. And then you could place something, let's say you try to open up the knees really wide in the shape and bring the support towards you and lower the upper body, which is what we're going to do if you want to go ahead and go there. But you might need more. When you get here, your butt might be up in the air. It might be more like this, and it's like not happening for you. So try then putting something underneath the creases of your knees. It'll cradle your butt a little bit and add a little bit more forward tilt supported to bring the body down. And then maybe you just add pillows, right? Luckily, I just happen to have 1,000 pillows right here. So I can build to bring the body down and comfortably support. I don't need this much support, but this is still very comfortable. So don't not try things out just because you don't need them, right? Look to whatever side you like. If you have one of those airplane pillows, then you can look straight down, and that's really nice, but you know, you probably don't have an airplane pillow with you right now. Very good for a restorative practice though. Better than used for in an airplane. So ultimately, if this is not available to you, you could do the shape on your back, Baddha Konasanas, but it would be Supta Baddha Konasana. You'd be laying on your back, supporting the knees and the thighs and the ankles. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. If you've been looking to one side, try to turn your neck to the other side. Best you can, right? And bring your head back to center for a moment before you lift it up. Tuck your chin. And then slowly make your way up. For our final shape today is Shavasana. Maybe you just have a seat and put your legs over your bolster, and you can use your bolster in all different directions. You could turn it up on its side for more height. I'm going to take the bolster a long ways and one of these pillows for underneath my head. Looks like I'm taking some debris with me from the floor also. Okay. And now you just focus on stillness, supported stillness, being comfortably still. We'll be here for a minute or two and officially end class at our seats. If you have to go early, I totally understand. Actually, it wouldn't even be early. It would just be on time. I'm the one that's late today. So thank you so much for joining, and I'll hope to see you soon. Otherwise, we will just meet at our seats soon, and I'll let you know when that time is. Closing your eyes, relaxing the body, and practicing all of those relaxing techniques with the jaw, for the thighs over and over until you forget. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. Begin to find a little movements through the fingers and the toes. Take a stretch if you like, and whatever you need to help bring you up towards your seat. No rush. Okay, so sitting up tall, closing your eyes, relax your hands on your legs or wherever it's best for you. Engage the core, lightly lifting up the chest. We'll take 3 deep, energetic breaths here to bring some energy back into our bodies to move along with the day. If you prefer to stay in this sort of slow state, take less deep breaths, much softer breaths instead. Inhale through your nose, let your belly expand. Through your nose, a forceful exhale. Feel it in the throat. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. Palms together, center of your chest. Keeping the eyes closed, keep lifting up your chest. Thank your mind and your body for what it's capable of today. Give yourself a compliment for taking time out of your day to take care of yourself. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you to Kaddish Yoga. Have a nice, long, happy Memorial weekend. Think about those who serve for us. Namaste.